Hey everybody. I am remote tonight. I appreciate you accommodating this. I could not make it to campus tonight. And actually, this ended up being a not bad time for it because it is our third and final mob programming activity. Everybody has the option to participate in a remote mob. Um, and so then, remote lobbing is completely valid and something that I think would be a good experience. See how it compares and contrasts against in person mobbing. So we will get to that a little bit later. Oh, it's interesting that I'll check that out later. Um, let's see here. In the meantime, though, let's talk about what we're doing tonight. So we'll start off with Prime Minister's questions, as always, and then we'll dive into our final mob program activity, which is the Minesweeper application. I think this will be an interesting one. It certainly is the most complex kata we've had so far. And then so we'll finish that up at about 8:30, and then I can spend another 45 minutes or so in office hours if we need some more office hours. And there have been a lot of questions about Project Five. Yep, it's the most complex one you've seen so far, and so I understand that people still need some extra guidance. And so then I'm happy to stay after for a little while to get people squared away on that. But maybe there's some questions that we can answer now during Prime Minister's questions. So, what can you tell me about Project Five, or Project Six? Anything that remains. What would you like me to know? Are there any questions that I can answer? Feel free to come off mute or ask questions in chat.
Hey David, I just want to quickly ask, in the syllabus it says that we have like two late days.
Yeah.
Do I need to do anything special or can I just submit it like a day late? Because I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it tonight
Yep. No. Fair
for
enough.
Project 5.
Yep, nope, nope, nope. It's on me to note the late days, but the submit program includes a timestamp, so I can tell when something is late. As a matter of fact, it's automatically noted in my grade book, no problem. And just when in doubt, submit it. I'd rather grade something than grade something that works. So on this one, especially if you need another few hours or as much as like another day, please give me something that you're confident in that you think will work well. So, sorry, did that answer your question?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks.
Cool.
I'll just submit it tomorrow then.
Okay, thanks. There was a bunch of chatter about Project Five, and sorry I didn't have a chance to get to it during the day. Are there any remaining questions that people have, sort of either about the requirements or particular things about the assignment or issues that you have that you'd like to talk about? Counting to 15 quietly in my head. Nice. Let's see here. Question there. Just double check for the examples you added the backslash after the port number. Should it actually be a part of our arguments, or is that just to break up the lines in the document? Correct. The backslash is the line continuation character in Unix shells, and so then that's just how I break up multiple lines in the text to show you that's all one line on the Unix shell. But you don't need to test it that way. That's a right. It's a Unix shell thing. So. Thanks for asking about that, Alexander. But no, you're right. It's not part of the syntax of the command line. It's just how I chose to represent. Make it look in the document. Okay. Another question. Um, oh, how should we handle requests to the wrong port? That's a good question. Well, let's see here, in the client, what you'll probably get is some sort of like connection refused error, and that's fine, just to print out, connection refused. Of course, it shouldn't have a stack trace. So, catch the exception, and just, print out, yep, could not connect to server, or even connection confused, yeah, confused, connection refused, um, uh, which is the underlying cause of the error. Did I answer the question? Yeah, connection refused is fine. Yep, good, good. Okay, boy, I kind of forgotten how awkward it is to teach remotely when I can't see anybody. That's okay. We'll figure it out. Okay, so I am going to take the relative silence both audible, well, both on audio and in chat to say that it's time to move on, which is fine. I want to make sure that everybody's got plenty of time to work on this kata in your mobs. So let's talk about it. Okay, Minesweeper. I'm going to post this here in the chat. Kata for tonight. Actually, is there anybody in the class? Oops. Is there anybody in the classroom, or is everybody remote, or is everybody at someplace else? Yeah, that actually makes it a little bit easier. Cool. So let's talk about this kata. Okay, so those of us of a certain age remember the game Minesweeper, and you're probably all playing on your phones now or whatever. Um, the whole idea is that you've got a grid, um, and on that grid there are landmines. The whole idea is that you are sweeping the area for landmines. You want to get close to the landmines, identify where they are, but you actually don't want to you don't want to go on the space with a landmine. If you do, you lose the game. And so what you do is initially no information about the landmines is revealed. And if you choose a cell, and it was the game, you click on it. If you click on the cell, if it's a landmine, okay, yeah, you lose the game. But otherwise, it displays it replaces the contents of that cell with the number of adjacent spaces that contain a landmine. So, let's say that you've got a field that looks like this, where the stars are the landmines and dots are spaces without the landmine. And um, if you were to click on all of the spaces that didn't have a landmine associated with it, you would see these numbers, right? So right here, this this field right here is one because it is adjacent to one landmine. This one right here, though, is zero because there are no landmines adjacent to it, et cetera, et cetera. So this right here has, two, as does this one, but this one has one, and this one has zero. And so then this is what the kata is all about tonight. That you take an input like this, and from it compute input that looks like this. Again, it's that same n by m grid, same number of rows and columns, but the values are, instead of a dot, the cell contains the number of adjacent a number of spaces adjacent to it that contain a mine, an asterisk. Well, let's see here. And so here is just a description of it written out. Oh, I guess there are. Oh, yeah. Oh, and it gives you. Yeah, here's some test cases and stuff for you to work with. Again, it's probably not so important that you like read it from a file or something. The use test driven development and write a test case that basically takes something like this. Maybe you need the 4x4. So maybe it just takes that input and then returns this output right here. Anything more I can tell you about the kata itself and what the requirements of it are? No, how many mine per map? It depends. There is not there's not any limitations, so you can have as many mines as you want. Um, let's see here. Oh, it looks like there are a couple people in the classroom. Great. There's only two of you though, so then how about you just get on Zoom and join a mob? Um, yeah. Let's see, another question. Is diagonal considered adjacent? No, I don't believe it does. Because like for instance, this one right here, yeah, well actually, no, you're right, it does. I'm sorry. Diagonal is, this one is diagonal, it is adjacent. Yes. Yep. So yes, diagonal is adjacent because like this one right here is one. Similarly, I guess this one right here is two because there's one there, one there. Yep. No, thanks for asking about that. Adjacent is defined as a square of distance one around the mine. Yes, I think that's fair to say. Yeah. So anything that is on any of the eight compass positions around the mine is considered adjacent. Sweet. I have created Minesweeper. Uh, oops. Maybe let's make sure I have. I didn't have a chance during office hours to make sure that I merged everything. Maybe I didn't. Let me. Oops. This would be Joy of Coding, and then Kata's 2025. Oh no, but I don't have any pull requests. Okay, this is where I hope I actually created some changes from 10 minutes ago. Let's see here. Oh, good. There is Minesweeper. Okay. Sorry, I am just not seeing. Am I on the right branch here? I'm on main. Oh, maybe I need to go pull down the latest changes. Oops. What the hell did I just do? Cancel. I don't want to. Oh, I did a screen capture in Zoom or something dumb like that. Let's merge in the changes. Okay. Okay, look good. Looks like it's doing it. So anyway, yeah. So please pull down the latest. There they all are. Good. Please pull down the latest changes to the Kata's repository. And thanks for reposting that. Appreciate it. Yep, that'll be important. And it's also, of course, on the website for the class, but that'll get you there. Yep. And so then let's see here. Six mobs. We've got 23. Let's do let's do five mobs. Yeah, some fives and some six. So I'm going to do is I'm going to create five breakout rooms here in Zoom, and I'll let you all assign yourself. Let's see here, five breakout rooms. Great, I'll create those now. And if there aren't any further questions, I think we should get started. So I'll just pause here for a moment. Okay, hearing nothing, I'm going to open the rooms. So please go choose a room for yourself, and let's make sure there's at least four people in every room. And so then I will also be poking my head in just to make sure everybody's getting started because remote mobbing is a different experience. But let's start off with just 10 minutes of getting yourself set up, getting the code, introducing yourself, talking about the problem, and then we'll start the mobbing pomodoros after that. Okay, good. Hope this is a fun experience. I'm going to pause the recording and we'll dive into breakout rooms. Well, hey everybody. So, okay, that was everybody's first and I guess only opportunity to do remote pairing, but I really want to hear about how it went. Um, I know for me that the experience is there's some differences when it's remote, and I'd like to hear about them. So I think I'll just let's do the rooms in reverse order. I'll start with room five and then go back to one, just to mix things up. And I'd like to hear about your experiences. So let's see here. Room five. That was Dylan, Nick, Nathan, and Satvik. Um, what was it like remote mobbing for you? What worked well? What was different? What was intriguing? What questions are you left with?
Well, we started off kind of slow and we're a little nervous with each other, but once people started talking, I started talking more and asking questions because I didn't understand the problem, so it took a while to figure it out. But some of us were working on the main file and I was working on some tests and stuff like that. So we got pretty far and but we weren't able to like actually run the tests. So we don't know if it works or not, but it logically made sense.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
I got a lot to learn because yeah, like I wasn't very good at what was going on, but just following through the mob and understanding as we went through helped it clear up by the end. So yeah, I got much better at it as we went through it.
Much, if I may dig into it, I mean, much better at what exactly? Like, so what was there? Did you find the dynamic was different when you were remote, or it's just like it was a different kata? It was a little bit more challenging.
So I think because it was online, we didn't really spend more time discussing an idea than we did on implementing it. That yeah, okay, this looks good.
Mm.
Let's get it and start doing it because developing something is much easier than discussing it in person, I think, because then you can just get straight to work and everyone's watching. That interface is much better online.
Okay, good to know. Thanks, great observations. Thanks for sharing them. Anything else from room five? Okay, room four. That was Alexander, Manisha. It's I forget Tejaswi's real name and Tatniat. Room four. What were
Uh,
your what did you experience?
yeah. Okay. I always enjoy wow, working remotely, but one thing I missed is like all together like discussing the problem or on paper like like everyone was reading from their end in the beginning and nobody was talking to each other, so it was a little bit weird in the beginning because everyone was trying to like understand the problem from their end, but when it's like in person we can see each other and discuss with each other like and write on the whiteboard, and so that is one thing I miss about working in person, like, but remotely like we can focus more on the code, we can see each other's screen more clearly, so I think like there is pros and cons of both side, but yeah, it was a good experience working with the team. Yeah.
Nice. Those are some good observations. Others from room four, things you'd like to share.
I think one thing I noticed working remotely is that I don't have to, rush to the table to plug in for the screen. So I
Right.
think it saved a lot of time. I'm just sharing my screen and like continuing. That saved a lot of time. And I think one disadvantage is that like we face little audio issues at the starting. And yeah, so that's the thing. Yeah.
The technology giveth
Uh,
and the technology taketh
yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, on to room three. So that was Wesley, Brendan, Farani, and Ahmed. What was your experience like?
It was good. I think we had some like a lot of different ideas being thrown around in the beginning, but once we settled on a path, it felt pretty streamlined, and I think we had a good experience getting like everybody in on the problem.
Nice.
I don't think we really had anybody like having to sit out, and it felt like everybody was really contributing, pulling their own weight, which was cool.
Nice. And did you find that differed from the experiences that you had in person?
Um, Not really.
I feel
I
like it was
think
easier.
it was a little bit harder to communicate our ideas
Mhm.
remotely. Not being able to just like point at stuff, and yeah, but otherwise I think it was all right. One thing I did notice about remote I noticed this with I think the pair too. or something, but it's sometimes really hard to explain like really simple things like, oh, like define a variable of this class, and it takes like 5 minutes because like just trying to put that into words and say like exactly what line you want them to put it on and stuff is like really hard to get across, and also really hard to understand as the driver
Right.
remotely sometimes.
Interesting. Cool. Others from room 3. What are some of the lessons you're taking away from tonight?
For me, like I always like being remote, like keeping my camera off. But I think having some etiquette, especially if it's like a team that you work with regularly, making a point to it makes that um, nonverbal connection. If you see each other a little bit, and maybe that can help bridge the gap when we can't explain by pointing. Like I might still point at my screen, and maybe it helps. I don't know.
Nice. Good deal.
I found it easier to focus in general,
Oh,
since there was like less background noise and less, yeah, the room was a little bit more quiet.
yeah, that room does get pretty loud. Nice. Thanks. I really appreciate you all sharing all of that. Room 2, Kira, Daniel, Logan, Max, and Travis. So this was a mob of 5. Um, what was it like for you, and how does it compare to the other 2 sessions where you've been in person?
I found that it was a lot easier to focus without all the groups talking at once, which might be, maybe that's not really that's just on having so many people in that one room.
Right, yeah. You probably wouldn't have that for a real mobbing environment, but
And also, I think it's kind of more fun to have more people. It's kind of funny, like just talking with people. You've got your chat.
nice.
I think at first we were like a little all over the place, but we kind of reeled it in pretty quickly, and I think we all worked pretty well together. So yeah, it was just I think an altogether fun time, and we completed the problem at like the last second too.
Nice.
So
That's a good feeling.
that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I agree. Like, I think like I do like it a little bit because it's like more quiet and like it's just us 5 in the room, or yeah, in that breakout room. I would say I still like in person just because I like pointing at things and just like having that person next to me and we can like talk about it or write on the whiteboard or something like that. But I think it went more smooth than I thought. Also, I agree on what Daniel said. It can be kind of fun and some of the stuff we talk about is kind of funny. But yeah, it was an enjoyable experience, surprisingly, online. Yeah.
Oh, one thing I wanted to add is I think like even if I was doing it in person, I'd still want to stream the code because it's a much easier way to see the code versus like on the projector. It's just easier to see it on your own monitor than a projector, I feel like.
Nice. Great learnings all around. Okay. Well, and to finish off room 1. So this was Aaron, Greg, Christian, Ryan, and Teresa. What did you find? What was this like for you, and how did it compare to the other sessions?
Pretty good. We always get like a little caught up in our what we all think the design of the program should be, but we're really good at working it out and thinking it through. So did pretty good.
It was also nice to just be able to screen share, but that also had the caveat that a lot of people mentioned it. I found myself pointing at the screen, expecting other people to be able to see what I was pointing at, and nobody could see it. Or I was trying to draw the grid and show it to everyone, and it didn't work because we're on webcam. But it was a good experience, and we didn't have to spend as long of a time like being polite and getting to know each other, because we've kind of stuck with like mostly the same group throughout the semester, and that's been nice. Although we still haven't solved a single problem yet.
But remember, with all this, the goal is not to solve the kata. The goal is to learn about pairing and mobbing. And it sounds like you all are getting a great education there.
I feel like I talk too much. I need to just mute. That's the hard thing.
You know, some people, some people just need to like say things in order to process them. Yeah, my kids like that. So then, it's whatever works. But acknowledging that about yourself can be a good learning for yourself and for others around you. So
It also like when we're starting to like run into a brick wall or something. It's fun in a group when you can like laugh about something. Like Greg started doing a Southern accent, and it changes the dynamic, and we resets our minds, and then we figured it out. So it's interesting.
Nice. Is it like Southern lawyer? Like
now you got to do it.
you are being recorded. You might be a senator someday, so it's all right.
You're right. I should probably be cool.
Right? Yeah. That was your run for Congress. So.
Well, no, there's laws. This cannot be shared publicly because of FERPA.
Oh.
Okay. But the education we're providing the world because of it. Well, anyway, excellent. Anything else from Mob 1?
This is such a hard
Doing it
puzzle to
online.
do.
Oh,
Go ahead.
You
You go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh, I was gonna say, Christian, it's just really hard to like all have different ideas and come together and then also not over talk to each other like I just did. So you go ahead.
I was gonna say like it's pretty cool doing it online. I liked what someone said earlier about being able to see the code on your own screen instead of like off a monitor. And also like the only negative I could really see was like if multiple of us try to talk at the same time, it was a lot more confusing than as if in person, where like you could have multiple conversations going. But over Zoom, people keep talking and they stop. Then they start talking at the same time and they stop. And just kind of a cycle of that.
Awesome. Well, great observations, everybody. I really appreciate you sharing those with me, and I also appreciate what we've been doing here, both mobbing and pairing. I'm guessing it's kind of unusual to work like this during a course and to take so much time out of the course. I really hope though that you've gotten to experience what it's like coding with others. Because this is something that is done in the real world, and it's something that I hope that you see can be effective. But it takes a certain amount of experience and discipline to be effective in it. So thanks for going on this journey. Okay then. Well, that is it for class tonight. I do see a question that came in from Greg. Let's see here. What is more standard for you in the real world, mobbing or pairing? Actually these days, I don't know if one is really one over the other. I don't, honestly, these days I hear more about mobbing and ensemble programming, but that might just be the crew that I run with. I mean, maybe that, there's still, healthy amounts of pair programming going on. I don't know. For me, mobbing has some advantages that I like better, and so that's what I encourage my teams to do.
I did have a follow-up too, if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
sure.
And I noticed one thing in our group. Several of us like use the IntelliSense and leveraged a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Do you see like this dynamic changing in the future with integrated IDEs that have like AI co-pilots and stuff? What are your thoughts on that long term?
Well, I think it's too early to say for the long term, but I will say right now that having the AI assistant being just like another person, another thing in the mob, another contributor to the mob, there's something to be said for that. And I think also while if it's just pairing with one person pairing, if you will, with the AI, yeah, you get some benefits, but you don't get nearly as much benefit when there are two humans and an AI doing it. So I think that's what we're seeing right now. I still think it remains to be seen of what the impact of having these AI tools really has on sort of the industry and what it means to code. But I'm glad you're thinking about it. Actually, one of the things that maybe whatever that is that next Wednesday? I think it is next Wednesday. We've got kind of this bonus class, and I do have a couple of students who've been doing independent studies. I'm going to have them report out, and then also I kind of want to break open GitHub Copilot and see what it can do for us, because I'm curious. Because I'm curious not only about what it can do, but what I should recommend for my students. And so let's try it out and see how that informs what guidance I give to future students. Excellent. But that's next Wednesday. Next Monday, we'll be doing some more work on the Android application to see how we can continue to evolve that calculator. We'll be looking at doing things that you'll be able to do for your project, like persisting stuff out to persisting data out to files, and then also working with a couple of more advanced widgets, things like that. I think it'll be fun. We'll also talk about the final exam next week, because that is coming up on the 17th. Crazy, almost to the end. Awesome. Okay. Well, hey, really appreciate everybody's time tonight. Thanks for accommodating me not being there. Glad you got to experience it remotely. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'm going to stay on up until like 9:15 or so. This is getting close to my bedtime. And happy to have some more office hours. But otherwise, I will see you on Monday. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you. Good night. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.